Huh?
Here it is. It's a working.
Yeah, you got the little ferret and the waveform.
Yeah, the waveform.
Okay, cool.
Sine
You
waves,
got the
baby.
waveforms going.
Maybe
Hell
that's the
yeah.
issue when
Hell yeah.
you guys are using your special ed computers. It doesn't work right.
Oh.
Now you're getting it mad. Now you're getting it mad. You shouldn't have done this.
As a matter of fact, I have the very last model of MacBook before Tim Cook made it into a worthless piece of trash.
I actually have the same model, and it runs very poorly. But it's got a DVD drive, you know.
Yeah, they're rock solid.
They are rock solid.
They don't use a mobile phone OS, and you can actually access system commands without having to hack into the kernel like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah. Windows is not much better at this point, to be honest.
I call it Windows.
That's I think I actually started
Ajit Pai, their CEO, he's a really smart guy, and he's going to make them a lot of money. They've done some very clever stuff in the space left behind by Apple when they made the MacBook a piece of shit.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
like the Surface Pro. If you watch their advertisements, all the people in the advertisements are like Latinxes, and they're like gender queers with purple hair. So they're building a super loyal customer base that's gonna get addicted to the suede glued onto the top of their laptop, which performs well.
The suede of virtue, yeah.
He's a smart guy. He's of the Indian race. I believe they've invented algebra and things like that. A lot of Indians invented a lot of the math that gets co-opted in like those UAE Saudi-sponsored museum exhibits. Like it's where the Arabs of the peninsula invented all mathematics when it was all Persians and Indians and Ismailis.
Yeah, Central Asians too. Yeah. Like algebra is a Central Asian
right.
thing. Yeah.
There's
even multiplication, because I was told
friends.
Multiplication was an Arab thing. No, nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean the guy algebra was named after was Persian.
Well, Persian culturally, which is. But he was from like Samarkand, so
yeah, Samarkand,
You're actually a little loud, Leo. You're sort of like
I was doing a yell.
You are kind of clipping, but I liked it, especially when you were saying Billy Idol.
It's more that I couldn't hear John at all over you, just like. Quietly talking about
talk 1 2 1 2
1 2. Can you hear us equally loud?
Talk at the same time, guys.
Okay, we're dancing with myself.
I'm right here.
Dancing with myself.
There ain't nobody home. There's nothing going on. I'm just dancing with myself.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we are. That sounded harmonious. really on volume. He did come back though at a very like heartbreaking time. This is a serious story. Billy Idol was in New York, I think, like telling people, "Don't be idle." He was saying like, "Yeah, you need to get out there. Don't be idle. The country's falling." And now this was like a week before we're all stuck inside, and now those words echo mournfully.
Billy Idol, he had a song called "White Wedding."
He did.
And, what we learned from the song "White Wedding" is that it's nice time to start again.
Yeah. We also learned that he's the song's kind of cryptic. He's just kind of being condescending to a woman on her wedding day. Really, that's about it. That's the extent of the song.
He's somewhat like Matthew McConaughey in Harmony Korine's film The Beach Bum.
That was a great film, I thought.
I don't think I've seen that.
I believe it came out in 2019.
It did,
and
yes.
It's Matthew McConaughey as a like a sort of Florida Keys drifter poet.
Yeah, and a really authentic one, like the kind of guys that I grew up around, like the trash that I was raised in Miami. He must have like studied them and hung out.
He loves those roles. He does like one of those movies like every third movie. You know, like he did Mud.
Oh, Mud was wait,
Mud was
Mud?
Good.
Yeah, Mud. Yeah, okay. I was confusing Mud with Joe for a second, which is also a great film. Joe is the movie where Nicolas Cage is an ex-con trying to make good, and he meets the teenage son of an alcoholic homeless guy who they're squatting in a house, and his father keeps getting progressively more sociopathic and horrible while Joe's trying to help this kid make it in the world. And he tragically sacrifices himself for the kid. It's a good movie.
Yeah, that's usually every third Matthew McConaughey movie. He does something heartbreaking.
Nick Cage.
No, Nick Cage. That's a surprising role for Nick Cage. Have you seen that Nick Cage movie where he like perpetuates the legacy of parents who murder their own children? Evan showed it to me. He couldn't be here, tragically, due to COVID-19, as I've learned to call it.
Yeah, prayers up for Evan.
Prayers up for Evan
Prayers
Heinig.
up for Evan.
He's on week 3 of being sick all the time, but I think his problem is more not that he's immunocompromised, which I think he's a strong boy under it all. I think it's like the protein 5 he needs or whatever, the factor 5 is going to be used a lot in the oncoming crisis, and he's had to
his clotting factor for his hemophilia is in short supply.
Yeah,
which is what keeps him from dying if he, say, bumps into a table.
Yeah, this will be a precarious month for our king. For our fellow pimp.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know if we want to just kind of keep this in or if we want to do like a proper start, but I figure I'll do the intro at this point, introduce you guys.
Is Don here?
I'm here.
Yeah, where's Don at? This has just been us riffing off the dome. I mean, leave it in. It's gold. It's all gold, baby. It's all all glittering gold.
I was just trying to get my vocal cords on.
Yeah, that was called the jazz duo of Cool Daddy Leo and Little John Boy are just setting up there, tuning up. You can leave that in. That's some precious gold.
Yeah, that'll be the opening act. All right, so we'll do a proper intro here. Welcome back to You Can't Win, everybody. This is Tom here, and I'm joined by Donald as usual, as well as returning guest Leo and our good friend John V. I'm not sure exactly how you want us to refer to you.
John V's perfect. That's how my girlfriend refers to me. No one can say John. It's fine. You can say John V all the time.
Okay. All right, cool. John
it's
V.
It's lovely to be here again on your fabulous podcast.
It is an honor. I have heard this is the most erudite podcast of all online guy podcasts. And I've mostly been saying that to people and have them agree with me. But still, it's an honor to be here.
I'd say it's a quite fair tie between this podcast and Sean's Russia blog, where he invites grad students on to talk about ridiculously, pointlessly specific things about
until
Russia
they grad
that they've
school
been
at the end of the
studying
episode.
for the last 8 years.
Well, cool. That's an honor, I guess.
Yeah, it can be a three-way tie, too. Leo and I are working with poor sick Evan on the Pimp Chronicles, a tentative title that we're now going with because he's too sick to veto it.
What's the title of it?
The Pimp Chronicles, I think.
All right,
is what
I like
we decided to call it. Yeah.
Sounds like a Cat Williams special.
We've heard that a lot.
It's a Cat Williams special.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
We're worried about the analytics here, but maybe they'll be in our favor. We're not sure.
We have a few backup names that I created for the podcast I was going to do with my best friend Walter, but he's too busy due to his successful career in to record. So
yeah, he's not a lowlife like us. That's son of a bitch.
If we do, oh no, he's more of a lowlife than all of us combined. He just happens to be gainfully employed.
Ain't that the worst, man? That could have been us.
It could still be us. There's still plenty.
Oh, yeah, man, we can grift our way.
The whole world's on reset now, so it,
Yeah, they're giving us some restart money too.
Yeah, and to me at this point, $1,200 plus $1,200 for my girlfriend is essentially a fortune.
Yeah, that is a small fortune. Like imagining $1,000 in bill form kind of gives me like heart palpitations at this point. Like, it's insane to me.
You guys got any plans for your Trumpbux?
Well, I have a continuing debt that I need to pay at the minimum of, and then I have to buy THC tinctures and lotions for my girlfriend's ease, and I need to buy some bariatric wheelchair cushions, which I repurpose to put on my bed for sleeping because of my strange autoimmune disorder that makes me sensitive to my own GABA and causes my body to lock up and for all electrolytes to be purged off those little axon terminals, giving me extreme pain. But if I've got fresh cushions with the hard
if you got
plastic
that fresh
coating,
stuff, yeah. Then it's like that magical medicine never destroyed your body in the first place, man.
Yeah. If anybody is thinking about taking any GABAergic drug from gabapentin and phenobaclofen, just if you have any history of autoimmune disease in your family, don't take it because it will ruin your life. That's a PSA.
What's it
called? Gabapentin.
It's prescribed a lot. I still know of sad women who take gabapentin and post about it, so this is not a widely acknowledged problem, I don't think.
It's a unique circumstance for me because I had certain problems relating to taking a heartburn medication a lot, and that opened my guts up to chimeric molecules forming and then transiting through my body, and so I would lift
doing
weights
all
while
that
having this
wonderful
in
work
me.
of nature, and then you saved yourself by like shocking yourself with a battery and reading Hegel on a treadmill like a Thomas Pynchon character. You fucking lunatic.
Yeah, I would use.
I just went through this 3-month period where I was standing on a treadmill reading intervals of Hegel while shocking my brain. Now I'm okay. How's it going, John?
I spent 1 calendar year with transcranial direct stimulation, so basically 2 electrodes, an anode and on my head, in a position where researchers discovered that the brain was more receptive to insight, and I would strap that on and I would read Hegel for 45 minutes to an hour a day and do strenuous exercise, and my mind and body were as strong as they've ever been.
You Pynchonian motherfucker. Listen
You're
to that.
You're a fragile yet philosophical cyborg is basically.
Just how I thought of you before all that happened, so it's all kind of fitting.
And but then I took a Phenobut on recommendation of Dutch bodybuilder Menno Henselmans, who said it was great for recovery.
It sounds like a reliable source. I would trust him.
It made me allergic to my own GABA neurotransmitter, among many other things, and ruined my life. So I've just slowly been trying to desensitize myself to everything. I can't quite figure out how to desensitize myself from my own neurotransmitter. That's the problem.
That seems like a tough one, yeah.
John, you sound like you're getting deeper and deeper in like a sewer pipe or something.
Sorry, I was actually rolling a joint, I'll admit. And Tom, I'm gonna say actually I'm gonna go against you. On a recent episode, you said people should not smoke weed in pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm saying you should. I'm saying smoke them if you got them. You do have to cough to get off. Worry about excessive cough, but this is a great time for like emotionally saturating. Like you ever just sit with your non-emotions and then smoke weed and think about something and cry? This is a great time for that. I think that's progress. I think people should be sitting in twilight, getting high alone, and thinking about all the bad things they've done and crying and accepting it in turn and getting higher. This is just my vision. I don't know. Alice Coltrane's playing.
I don't have any problem with that, like the whole emotional thing that you're talking about. It's more that will suppress your immune system, and I don't think that's a good idea right now.
Yeah, but also also that sensimilia is going to make it a lot easier when you watch your friends die on Skype, though. So there's also that.
A lot easier to what?
It'll be a lot easier to watch all your friends die on Skype, you know? If you're getting high at least.
Take my strong advice and don't think twice.
Oh, I'm not going to think twice, baby.
An MCT oil-based tincture, you might not drift off into the land of visions, but it'll put you to sleep and help you with the pain in these days of lung health.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's fine. I mean, it's still, to me, preferable. Just stay away from it. But if you are going to do that, if you think it would be useful, I think at least don't smoke something. I think that's a pretty happy medium there.
Yeah, because the places where...
But I can't find a street dealer in the Bronx who has edibles, man. It's fucking hard here. You gotta work with what you got.
But I thought that in New York City that you could just call a phone number and somebody on a bicycle would bring you like
those people do not come to the South Bronx unless I'm buying $600 of marijuana. Those people stay firmly in Brooklyn for high clientele, if you know what I mean.
Is it decriminalized up there?
It is basically decriminalized. I think Schumer has called for decriminalization, although I've heard from my psycho friend Hayden Hard, shout-outs to Hayden, that the Citizen app that he works for is still busting people on weed in New York. So now they're using it to keep counts up, I think. But it was mostly okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. All right, let's stop rambling. Let's get on to the...
Stop rambling. Oh, wait. The question, right. Yeah, the check. I have no plans for the check. I might use it to illegally go to South Jersey and try to see my girlfriend who is in South Jersey. And I might get everyone sick in South Jersey and wipe out South Jersey, and that'd be great for everybody. So
well, I think
I'm feeling okay
Jersey
about that.
Is fucked. Right? Like, where's North Bergen? Is that North Jersey, South Jersey?
Yeah, that's North Jersey. South Jersey's more like Asbury Park, like Bruce Springsteen town. Okay. North Jersey's basically just fake New York. They're doing horribly, yeah. I think South Jersey's doing okay.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of time, I guess.
Yeah. Or everything could be okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everything could be totally okay. Yeah. I could see my loved one before I die in the Javits Center. You know, anything could happen, man.
Have any of you guys caught the SARS-CoV-9?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people in New York already have it. Like, I and all my friends around early February got sick for 2 weeks and felt really terrible and coughed a lot. And then we're fine. And then this happened. And now we're all stuck in our houses. I feel like we all already fucking have it.
Yeah, you know, when the lockdown thing first started like 2 weeks ago, I had like a really slight tickle in the back of my throat, and I was getting headaches on and off. It wasn't anything terrible, but it kind of matched up with like what maybe mild symptoms would be.
Yeah, I think we've all had it. Leo, you had a period of it, right?
Yeah, in the first week of January, after it had already secretly reached the Pacific Northwest via people traveling from Asia and people traveling to British Columbia, where there's a large, Chinese tax shelter community.
Oh yeah.
I had a furious fever and just a horrible cough for a week. I felt like I was about to die, and then the symptoms lingered on for a couple months. But I'm feeling healthy now.
Yeah, I think we're all past it.
Yeah, I think in like late December and early January, I had like a lung infection, and it like pneumonia or something, and I felt pretty bad. And you never know. It's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I don't know like what scale of testing they're going to do later on to like to people that sort of show some symptoms in the past or something. I guess it's like an emergency testing right now. I heard some of the tests are like combining 5 of them into one tube, and then just testing those 5 people again if one of them is positive.
I mean, this is exclusive to you where there's testing, right? We're testing like 500 people a day in like Connecticut, aren't we? That's the best we're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think that someone said that. Did you see that thing online about Burundi? Whatever.
I
said
did
that
not.
Burundi.
Oh, is this the one where
I've
they
seen
have like no
Bangladesh get
cases?
hit.
Yeah, they have no cases. They're like one of the only places with no cases. And they were like, "Why do you have no cases?" And they're like, "Oh, we haven't tested
because we hate
anyone
the
yet."
Chinese.
We
No
haven't tested
Chinese in
anyone.
Burundi.
Yeah. So I don't know.
A lot of African countries are taking up a pray and wait and see approach to COVID.
Yeah.
And they're basically just saying, we're just going to wait this out because we don't have the capacity to treat it anyway. And
That sounds sensible.
if you guys heard about what's happening in Brazil, in the favelas,
Right, yeah, like Bolsonaro is saying like people are going to die and get sick, so what? Brazilian men are invincible. Wasn't that his whole spiel?
Yeah, and he has it.
You cannot kill Brazilian men or cuck them.
What the gangs have done in the favelas is they've closed their drug markets and they've shut down all the parties, and they're driving around in their fine cars and yelling, "Stay indoors. If you are outdoors, we will make an example of you and you will regret it." So they're enforcing a quarantine while the government ignores it, which says a lot about the state of Brazilian politics at the moment.
Says a lot about society, my friend.
They're calling it the rich man's disease because they think that it came from rich people traveling abroad.
Oh yeah, didn't all those rich people bring it to like a suburb in Idaho, and now they have like 4,000 cases in one hospital?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the Snake River area.
Oh yeah.
I had a theory that it's spread by pedophilia, just based on all the rich people getting it and stuff.
That's true.
And getting it immediately too.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and like getting special tests as if they're not like a category of, pedophile elite,
Oh yeah, they just look at like they got the little wristband from the night before. They're like, "Oh, you probably have it."
You got the little stamp of the kid in red, yeah.
The little pizza stamp on
you
there.
had was a human sacrifice and the girl chained up who was being beaten. Yeah, you got it.
Oh yeah, you got the full back Yakuza tattoo of Moloch.
Yes, just like in the film Red Dragon, where Ray Fiennes eats a book.
Oh, a lot happens in that movie. That's classic.
You know, it's a great movie, The Ninth Gate, starring Johnny Depp.
Oh, I remember that one. That was a kind of a favorite for my group of friends to watch, like on mushrooms.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of that before we all decided to hate Roman Polanski again. Rest in peace, I guess.
I separate the art from the ephebophile cretin who let his wife be murdered by leaving her with the most low-life Polish friend he had.
And then married Klaus Kinski's daughter or whatever, something like that. Fucking piece of shit. But makes great movies. I mean, Knife in the Water. You can't deny this shit.
I think you just have to assume any movie you're watching has some disproportionate level of pedophile activity going on behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the reasons why The Sopranos is considered a modern American classic, because the cast and the showrunners went out of their way to protect Meadow Soprano and the young female cast members from that stuff.
It's also a beautiful tragedy akin to the 19th century Empire novel. Thank you very much, Leo.
That's a fact.
Thank you. I'm glad you granted that fact.
When Red Dragon came out, I went to the theater, and I can remember staring at like the sign that said Red Dragon and like thinking about it for a while, and then going to see The Tuxedo with Jackie Chan and Jennifer Love Hewitt instead.
That was one of the earliest Jackie Chan movies after he swore off ever doing wire stunts post Hong Kong career. Like he wanted all his stunts to be real, but then I guess he needed money to pay for his drug smuggling son's legal bills because he was facing the death penalty or life in prison for having, I forget if it was like a brick of weed or ecstasy on a private plane and he was searched.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I did not know this. I knew his beautiful Italo disco hits, but I did not know this plight of Jackie Chan.
Yeah, his son is he's a real rich dick type of rich kid.
Yeah, just sort of seeing what trouble he can make. Yeah, that kind of rich kid.
That's a shame. I've always heard that like Jackie Chan was some kind of tyrannical father or whatever. That maybe that's just how they sort of play it off in the media, you know, to kind of cover up the real story.
I don't know. He grew up as like a super spoiled kid of embassy workers in Australia, Hong Kong embassy workers. And he was a fat little boy who got to eat all the little rice balls and stuff that he wanted.
Yeah, I know the type very well.
But he was so mischievous that his parents sent him off to Chinese opera school, which is basically non-stop beatings from the older kids, and they have to learn martial arts and how to do flips, and they learn how to do classical Chinese opera.
Yeah, they need to learn how to fall underneath an entire fully toppling city in real time. Yeah, yeah.
That's Chinese boarding school.
Yeah, exactly. They throw you under a truck. Those movies are amazing. Have you guys seen Police Story 1 and 2? I'm sure you all have. It's beautiful stuff.
Fantastic.
It's like a testament to like what we've lost, because there's so much at stake. When you watch those movies, you see like these entire fake towns destroyed just so Jackie Chan can look cool surviving something. You see like men jumping into like moving streets for the sake of, you know, a somewhat successful satirical action comedy. It's really heartening.
That's cool.
Yeah, he put his life on the line because he loved Buster Keaton and the Marx Brothers, and he just thought physical comedy plus martial arts would be great. And he was right.
Yeah, he was right. Physical comedy plus risking your life, yeah.
He also claims that he and Bruce Lee fought to a draw. And
do not know this story.
There's some stories going around that people have started talking about, because there's a scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where
I was going to say
this character throws Jackie Chan into a car door and smashes the car.
It's caused a lot of trouble online, yeah.
Jackie Chan, I mean, Bruce Lee was known to be sort of a fake tough guy who would pretend to be ready to fight anybody, but if they were bigger than him, he'd be like, oh, just wait, I'll fight you instead.
I will defend him and say when he was dead, they found like an ounce or more of marijuana just like in his stomach. He had been like eating marijuana, I guess, recreationally, which respect.
Like just raw buds?
I guess he was dipping it in honey, probably, I would imagine, but they just found like a ton of fucking nugs in him, yeah.
That's wild.
As well as a huge amount of fucking like tranquilizers, which makes sense. Like if I were fucked up on K2, I could do like 1,000 wind sprints too.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was based in San Francisco for a while. I don't know if you guys saw the Chinese produced movie about Bruce Lee's fight with Wong Jack-man, the monk. But it's very cool. The theme of the movie is sort of flashy Americanism versus traditional, honorable Chinese style Buddhist fighting, Buddhist monk fighting, and the climactic fight scenes use a ton of wire work, and it's just not a movie that looks like any other movie that's been made recently. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like that kind of weird militant undertone. It sounds like a Mishima thing, but with Buddhist monk fighting.
Yeah,
into that.
yeah. It was the first movie I'd see that you could call straight up Chinese propaganda aimed at American audiences.
You guys looking forward to the Chinese century? You think that's going to happen?
It's looking more and more like it. I mean, I'm ready for the work camps. Are you guys?
Hell no. I'm going to organize an uprising. We're all going to get shot down.
I've always thought this of you. Yeah, ever since you had your nude icon on Last FM in 2008, I thought this man's up to no good. This man will be a misfit in the revolution.
This man's social credit score, it's negative.
Yeah, for the listeners, on my Last FM account, I used to have a picture of Dean Ween sitting nude at the computer as the icon.
I thought that was you.
Yeah,
God
everyone
damn
thought
it.
it was me, and I didn't do anything to, clear things up. But yeah, it's Dean Ween.
The dick measuring contests on Last FM over who would listen to the Silver Jews War.
Oh, that was a horrible
that.
era of the internet. Yeah, I would turn off Last FM to listen to the things I wanted. I would listen to that shit and Ornette Coleman on Last FM, and then I'd turn it off and listen to Goodbye Horses over and over again.
Mine came out with Lil Wayne 10 times more than anybody else.
What's that?
Mine was always Lil Wayne 10 times more than
Oh,
anyone
hell
else. And I
yeah,
was
man. Those were the
okay,
years for. That was Drought 3, Dedication 2.
Dedication 2, yeah.
Shout out.
Exclusively.
This is what I call her.
Yeah.
That is an era that only could have been produced by endured horrible childhood trauma and huge amounts of codeine, and he really went for it. I'm really proud of Wayne for that little spark he had for 3 years.
Yeah, he's kind of like a old retired boxer now, walking around with brain damage.
Yeah, basically. Ever since that one freestyle where he pours out some lean and then doesn't say anything. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's very sad. You should look it up if you haven't. But Lil Wayne just says "Rest in peace, Pimp C," and proceeds to pour out a liter of lean on the floor, and then just let the beat ride while he giggles to himself like an incoherent old man for about 2 minutes. It's a very little eerie elegy for the boy.
We should have him for the Democrat nomination instead of Biden.
Oh yeah, he's way more fit for it. President Carter, man, from that terrible album, from that really bad album.
Yeah.
So Tom, what are you using your money for?
I'm gonna get a gun, and then I'm just gonna put it towards. The old
gun
girls.
is a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna need a gun too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine. We're going to ride out to Indiana, buy a couple of shotguns, something like that.
One of the best ways to get guns for free is to find one of those trucks that has 1,000 NRA and Obama's a Muslim who's never going to take my gun stickers, and just to break the window to take all the guns that are stored inside the truck.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
People are in quarantine now too. Car alarms mean nothing to them.
No, they're not going to go outside and risk infection.
Yeah.
If you have a gun, I mean, Yeah, Don, you're not getting your 1,200, right? Because you're.
Yeah, because you're taken care of, aren't you, buddy? Because you're all right. You're over there in feel-good land, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to worry about medical bills, but at the same time...
Aren't they giving you guys a stipend or something like that? Canada?
Well, it's like if you lose your job because of COVID or something, you get $2,000 a month.
I think they
4
should
months.
pay you guys for the Trudeau blackface, just for that, actually.
Yeah.
I think he should give you all 1,000 personally. 1,000 CAD. 1,000 loons, yeah. Loony reparations, baby.
What are
Yeah.
the odds that Trudeau has COVID now since his wife has it?
Oh, he's got it. They've all got it.
100%.
100%.
Yeah,
He said-
100%.
He said that he.
Bolsonaro's got it. Trump's probably got it.
Trump's got it, yeah.
I think Trump has it or had it and then beat it, and I really think he should have come out as having it and then like, let's say he
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have it, just
Yeah.
pretend to have it and then like beat it and be like,
Oh,
look how,
yeah, that would have been the
strong I
best
am.
move. Yeah, look, we can have it open by Easter. I survived it. And look at me. I'm a piece of shit, you know?
It's no big deal. It's just a flu.
Yeah.
I think I heard on the Chapo podcast that Rand Paul got sick from COVID and a lot of Senate people got sick because they have a big bowl of shared jelly beans and they were all just honey dipping while the COVID epidemic goes on.
It's a real story. Yeah, it's true. And Rand Paul also, he was like, he went to work for like days afterwards, like after he got tested, waiting for the results. Like he didn't give up work in that time, and he's like a doctor. He's like like he is an actual physician.
Was he an ophthalmologist though? Like Bashar al-Assad?
You still do like you still do like basic training, whatever the equivalent is. Like you have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
both him and his dad
Cool.
were pretty much like denying that it was like a thing. They called it like the coronavirus hoax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A week before his son got sick, in Ron Paul's one of his famous racist newsletters, he wrote that it was a hoax and it didn't really exist.
Oh, yeah, my mayor who's been coming out with like a fucking Elmer Fudd face for the past 2 weeks was saying, go to the theater. This is a hoax. This was like March 2nd, maybe.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. He's on my television now. Like my parents watch CNN religiously, and like he's just on there all day now. It's just the Cuomo network. It's just like
Yeah,
just sits there.
they should just like have him sit there while Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus plays. He should just stop talking. That should be the marathon press conference.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about having him be the Democrat nominee.
That is
Oh my
really
God.
insulting. He's so stupid. He's so much that I hate to say, but you know how like every Italian American's kind of gay? Like he's that like mama's boy, kind of gay Italian boy taken to the worst point. I just got off the phone with mother. I'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When they were having that little spat between the two of them.
I'd get behind Chris Cuomo before I got behind that fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
In the Cuomo's, if you could find a Democrat who's done more openly corrupt deeds than Joe Biden, it's Cuomo.
Yeah, deeds that have resulted in like now he can't handle like the fucking subway systems of New York. How's he gonna handle this decrepit nation?
Yeah, the because they won't give money to New York City because of some state dispute, and just letting the city rot.
Yeah. Ford the City Drop Dead was right. It just took a couple decades.
I had really high hopes that this global pandemic would discredit neoliberalism forever, but it seems like it's really only doing that for younger people. Well, old
Whom
people
it was
have
already discredited for, yeah.
their death drives are just in full effect. Like, I don't know. It doesn't mean I don't know.
Hey, it's gonna get hot soon. Whatever. Heat kills the germs.
Everybody knows that hot weather it's great for viruses.
Yeah, the Italians got it because the buildings are old. Whatever.
One time when Ellen and George W. Bush were hanging out, Chris Cuomo did like a segment defending them, and he got like extremely earnest about it, and he said, "There's a song that I love called Closer to the Heart by Rush." And it has these lyrics: "Those who hold high places must be the ones to start to build a new reality, closer to the heart. And I was like, oh man.
That's like every musician's worst nightmare is to have their lyrics read in a normal voice in non-musical context. That's like horrific for every musician, even those morons.
Rush's song about social responsibility repurposed for some Democrat shock doctrine shit.
Well, they are Canadians, so watch what you say about them. Yeah.
Aren't they libertarians too?
No, that was like apparently that was like for a week or something while they were writing it or whatever. They like Neil Peart was like reading The Fountainhead, like a lot of people were, I guess, like a lot of artists were like, yeah, this is me or something, and then so
Neil
he wrote
Peart
like
read one book is the story here. Yeah, it happened to be Ayn Rand.
Yeah, and then I guess like they're really angry about it now, like he died, but like they were really like
rest in peace. Yeah.
rest in peace, but like they were like really annoyed by it because all the libertarians, like that was one of their big bands that they would always listen to because those lyrics are sort of about Ayn Rand. And then the other one that was funny was like Oingo Boingo, the band.
Yeah.
Was capitalist, whatever, and then I thought that was funny.
I had a friend in high school who was really into every Danny Elfman thing, and it was
it's like being really into every menu item at McDonald's, sort of.
He was into Danny Elfman and ska and psychobilly and
psychobilly, baby.
every annoying kind of music, pretty much.
Creepers,
I'll tell you what it
baby.
is. It's some kind of Texas psychobilly freakout. That's what it is.
Let me tell you something about Canadian music. There was a Canadian rock and roll band who was prominent from 68 to 72 called Steppenwolf. And
They were Canadian? You're fucking kidding me. That guy sounds like a down-home American. You don't know what we can find,
They showed up in LA with the most Canadian names you could imagine. I believe one of their guys was named Jerry Edmonton. One was named Goldie McJohn, and I believe there might have been like a Fitzwilliam. Just the most like Scots Canadians named you could possibly imagine. Here to play American rock and roll. Born to be wild.
Simply Saucer did that in the 70s, and I actually recommend them. I'm sure Tom knows them already. But as far as space rock goes, those Canadians kicked ass.
I've never heard of that.
Really? I think you would love Cyborgs Revisited, knowing what I know of your former Last FM.
Okay, cool.
By the way, for the viewers who do not know, I've known Tom and Leo probably like 11 years, although at the time I was psychotically lying about my age and actually 14 when they believed me to be 24 or something. So we had quite a strange online relationship in which I would sort of try to mask my problems like, oh, her parents won't let me see her, and then sort of Leo would get confused and think, wow, you both are adults. That would be the plot hole, and I'd have to sort of sidestep that somehow.
And this was before I was Muslim, so that didn't
This
make
was,
sense to
yeah.
me either. So
Yeah, no, nothing made sense. And then I believe we got into a fight because I sent you some silly demo that kind of sucked because it was by like a 15-year-old. And you were like, hey, it's kind of interesting, but it kind of sucks. And I got really mad. Instead of just saying I was 15, I was like, you just insulted a 24-year-old man, and now we're not friends anymore, Tom.
No, I believe it was some narrative fiction.
Oh, yeah, no, this was you. No, I had the same fight with Tom. I sent you.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I had the same fight with Tom, and the several-year gap in our friendship resulted in my ongoing lie because I didn't want to cop to being a teenager online while taking care of my mother. No, yeah, Leo and I fought over a shitty short story that was clearly written by a 15-year-old who hadn't experienced anything which was right because, I mean, I'd had like a weird childhood in Miami, but you don't confront that in your teens. You pretend it doesn't happen. So I wrote a story about nothing.
It was a very solid thing with the character, right? The characters were just weak, and I just
because I was
about that. And
I was 15 years old, and that led to a huge...
led to John refusing to speak with me for like 7 or 8 years.
4 years at the most. We became friends again in the era of Tumblr, I think.
Talk about being born to be wild.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Miami FL bred this devil.
So,
take you to the streets of Miami FL.
They do party all night, and in the morning they're all horrible zombies, and it's really sad. I don't know if you've been to Miami Beach at like 6 a.m. on a weekend, but see all the zombies come out who've been doing lines of coke and morphine all night and are now drinking beers in the sun that they don't recognize. You will see true horror, which, by the way, to circle back, is really represented well in the Beach Bum. Recommended watch from the Pimp Chronicles endorsement.
I strongly recommend it. If you watch Spring Breakers and thought this was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, this is like Spring Breakers Take Two, much better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like how, what's the little French fellow who made Into the Void's name?
Gaspar Noé or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Gaspar Noé, Into the Void, awful movie.
Yeah.
Made a 3D
Climax,
porn.
which was really good. Oh yeah, the porn too. Yeah.
But then he made Climax, which is a brilliant movie.
Yeah, Climax is fantastic.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh, it's so fucking
like
good.
A rec center who are dosed with acid without their knowledge, and all the dialogue is improvised.
It's like dancing. A German anti-theater like Fassbinder thing, but like Chantal Ackerman sort of also. It's really fucking sick.
And it's the only actual proper actor who wasn't just a dancer was the girl who played the mummy in the Tom Cruise mummy movie, Sophia Boutella.
And she was great in both films, actually, both as the mummy woman and also as the woman freaking out on acid. Yeah, shout outs to her.
Shout outs to Sophia Boutella.
I think it's about time that we get into the questions. Do you want to give us a little musical interlude or something there, John?
Do I want to play a live musical interlude? I don't think I'm equipped for it, actually.
All right. Well, how about you just hit us with some of those sound effects?
Oh yeah, I can get some reverb on here. So how's that sound? Is that sounding really effective? Hang on.
All right. First one here is for me. Tom, when do you plan to go on Hajj? I'm going next week. No, I don't know when I'm going to go. It costs a little bit of money. It's like $3,000 or so, I think, for like a
Hey,
tour.
man, we could have a really reckless nation. You could be out of here right after Easter. Let's hold out. Let's hold out for the reckless decision here. I'll see my girlfriend, and you can head out on that. It'd be totally great.
Yeah, sure.
if not for the SARS called disease, it would have been a really difficult pilgrimage this year because Australia's their sheep and their goats, and I think even some of their camels were burnt to death in those big fires. So the price of the traditional meals that people eat on Hajj would have been 3 times more expensive.
Yeah, you're supposed to sacrifice an animal. So there's a lot of animals that get got during Hajj season. Although it's going to be in
Hajj
like 2
season is
months.
not kind.
So
That's wrong, man.
I really don't know what their plans are.
It's something that Islamophobic people will post the pictures of the barges where the sheep or the camels are just stuffed together in the most inhumane way. It's like, look, this is what Muslims do to animals. But then look at literally any feedlot in America, cattle or any industrial chicken farm.
Yeah, go to any like weird Latino establishment called like Pollos.
I hate when they're being disingenuous. If they want to criticize it on merit or whatever, do that. But that's not really the business they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree though that that's not right. Like that's
it,
and it's also not something that is absolutely required. So they could kind of like I don't know. I feel like the mistreatment of animals is not something that's allowed, so that should be prioritized over just like having enough animals to do this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. I just don't like the hypocritical nature of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not allowed to like come along and just cheer you on, am I? They don't let me within the city limits or something. But I know there's like you can't like actually go to like the main event kind of thing. But like, is there other parts where I could just be a hype man or whatever and be like?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can stand just outside the city limits, like you're at a airport gate or something, and just like wave a sign.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
I think you're just better off going Mufti like the famous British explorer did.
Oh, Burton?
Yeah.
Robert Burton, I think.
Yeah, he just used some shoe polish and wrapped his head up and had a few letters of safe conduct.
Yeah, he blacked himself totally up like a Sambo and just walked in there with a turban on.
He hired a bunch of porters and servants, so he looked like an importer. I think he was playing an Indian Muslim, so they're like, all right, we don't really know exactly what you guys look like, so you can go in there and watch us throw stones at the belly.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of non-Muslims do get in these days. I think the Saudis are kind of, like, if there's some kind of business contact or something, they're like, oh, yeah, it's not that big a deal,
It's all about that. And that's their biggest, I believe that's their only source of revenue other than selling petrochemicals.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's a really big event. But it's just ridiculous that they are like so strict about Shia, and then they are, much more lax about like people who are just totally non-Muslim. It's just like
they treat Shia really trying to go Hajj like the way the old the pre-crusade Muslims would treat Christians who were trying to go on pilgrimage to Jerusalem, just like taking their money whenever they could and letting local bandits rob them and kill them. It's just let's have a little bit of brotherly love.
Have you ever been, Leo? Have any of you been to Israel? I went with my ex-wife.
To where?
It was quite to Israel.
I've been to Jerusalem,
Yerushalayim.
and
it's a scary place, isn't it?
I mainly stuck to Palestine, but I did go to Tel Aviv for like a day or two, and it's very weird. It felt like what I have seen in movies of like 70s New York. Like there's just liquor stores and porn everywhere, and just like these skinny Sudanese guys on every street corner,
Yeah, and then there are fucking college students like dressed in military fatigues, like fingering their assault rifles while holding a bag of candy.
Yeah, they got guns the size of their torsos.
It's fucking insane. It's a really terrible place.
Yeah. Palestine is great though, and it's actually like a.
Yeah, I went with my Jewish ex-wife, so I didn't see much of Palestine, unfortunately. But I wish I had.
The one thing that blew my mind, which is stupid, but Tom told me about how in Palestine the people who make the money are Palestinian Christians, and they sort of serve the banking role that you described to Jews.
Every day in Jerusalem, those Palestinian Christians do like a passion play on parade, and they like take like a fake dead Jesus, and they carry him through Jerusalem. It's wild.
It's there are a lot of Palestinian Christians that are like represented as like the landlords and all that kind of stuff. But that's not just Palestine. I think that's true in Jordan, and I'm not so sure about Lebanon and stuff, but
oh man, the poor Middle East. What a mess.
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's good that they're exporting some of those Chechen GI Joes out of the Middle East, and so they can go murder people in Libya and give them a break for a little bit.
When I was in Jordan and I was teaching English, I had 2 students in my ESL classes who were Chechen. They were like They were girls. They were like maybe
They kept
17
car
or
bombing the
something.
classroom. It was terrible.
Well, they just gave this they just had badass energy that like everyone was scared of them. Like,
Of course they were. They're two Chechen chicks. I'd
Yeah.
be scared.
you know, they didn't have any facial express. Like they didn't emote at
Oh,
all.
hard-faced Chechens they are.
Yeah, they were cool though. They're very good students. You know, I got nothing bad to say about them.
Oh, yeah, don't you dare. You'll have a pipe bomb fly through your fucking window. Chechen roots run deep, brother. Check your candy store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the satrapy of Russia's side or on the jihadist side. Chechens are just they're mountain men.
Yeah.
Guard for the people who live quiet and calm lives.
Yeah, they have like the Neanderthal features of like the Balkan people, and then they have like the natural lying like monster features of the Slavics. Speaking as a half Russian myself, so I can say that.
Yeah, I really love watching people that have gone to Chechnya on like YouTube. They do like the little tourism videos and stuff, and I don't know. It seems like a really tremendous place. All right, let's go on to the next question here.
Oh yeah, we're wandering. This is fun though. We should do a bunch of these.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch here. So, all right, so this one is for Donald Hughes. I've been to the psychic plane and seen your nemesis, ANCAP Protestant Donald. He's the one that's causing all of this. You must enter and defeat him. The moon is rising in Gemini. The fox makes its den in the darkest woods. I've said too much. May Gaia help you.
Shadow Donald, dude, you have to defeat this guy. I'm sorry to say, man. This sounds pretty conclusive. Shadow Donald has been causing this. Shadow Donald would do this to us. He would be that much of a troll because you're already so much of a troll, you know?
He just sincerely posts like little cat videos and stuff.
His little puppers and shit, yeah.
He retweets like, what's it called? The ice challenge, the
Ice bucket
challenge. Ice bucket challenge. Yeah.
What would an anarcho-capitalist response to a pandemic be?
I think it would be something like I don't know, like you'd be able to like pay your own security and government and stuff to like, I don't know, like manage the population around you or something to stop them from infecting you or something. Like you could like yeah, I don't know. You'd have to have some sort of, there'd have to be some way that like people would have to buy into your constitution to get a vaccine or something, you know, like I don't know. That would be the kind of theory. I think there'd have to be some sort of connection between, like you know, your own private government and like surviving.
It seems like anarcho-capitalists always go back to insurance companies where basically any function that a normal government department, it would be like, oh, the insurance company would handle that. If there's a pandemic, the insurance company would do it. Which it seems like you're just replacing a government with a private insurance
companies,
all the functions of government.
Which is way more limpid than just having a government, than having a strong government.
Well, if you could choose between different public health authorities, that that would cause like more competition, and then from that, you wouldn't get pandemics because that you would just choose the one that would stop the pandemic instead of being subjected to Trump's public health.
Lord.
Oh Lord.
All right, this next question is also for Donald. It says, would you support Canada joining a socialist USA?
Only if Mexico joined too, I think. Like, I think that's like the trigger condition. You'd have to have like more than just the United States and Canada, because then we'd get drowned out and just like, we just have to deal with like people moving from different places to Toronto more and stuff. But if we got like Bolivia and Venezuela and Brazil and stuff on board, I think that
a united hemisphere.
Yeah, and it was called like Bolivaria or something was like the whole country, then that would be cool. Or like,
Or the Organization of American Socialists.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, United States of America, but yeah, real America or something. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
America too. This time it's real. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Little something.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I just don't like the idea of like being sucked up into like the existing United States. That would be pretty.
Yeah. Tocqueville presents America. That'd be more appealing.
With the way the federal system works, say you're Montana or North Dakota or something, it's really easy for one rich guy to just own all the land and control the entire politics of your state. And I feel like if it became a socialist country, Canada would just be like, they treat them like New Jersey or something. It's like, oh, okay, all right. New Jersey, okay, Canada. That's some ideas, that's all right. We're on to the next subject.
Yeah.
I already feel like that, like with a lot of ways with like, there's like Canadian nationalism here that like tries to sort of push, a lot of it is like progressive, and they try to like push this idea that we're somehow better and different than the United States in a lot of ways. I think that like, I think it feels like living in a place that's like Ohio that's putting on airs or something, it's not really that much different.
That's such an insult to Ohio, putting on airs. That's going to bite some listeners.
That's what
hard.
the Northwest sort of does with California. They sort of think of themselves as like like California's like the stupid part of the West Coast. Like they have the better weather, but they're all
Pacific Northwest is where all the geniuses live. All the guys named Taco who live on their bikes.
Yeah.
Smugness is definitely a Pacific Northwest trait outside the rural areas.
What is?
Yeah, it's very much an urban thing, I think.
Smugness.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, the rural people who aren't, say, KKK members or, red lace skinheads who I've met, they've been very quirky and funny, like Twin Peaks characters, really. But the city folk are just, there's a lot of this sort of specific Irish stock.
Oh, yeah.
They look very snaky.
Aren't there a lot of racists in them parts? Isn't it quite a surprisingly racist region?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses from, say, dance clubs to dispensaries to just normal franchises are owned by white supremacists.
Oh, yeah. That makes total sense. Yeah, we're chill about everything except racism, it seems. It's cool.
All right, so let's go on to the next question here. Are you guys making any stock moves during the COVID-19 market crash? It seems like a good time to short sell. So I don't participate in any of that usury stuff, so not me.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'm buying Forex. I'm short selling the yen. I'm really going wild.
Bezos,
Danish kroner.
Bezos sold off everything before the COVID stuff was properly announced and made $3 billion. So
of course he did.
It's really hard to front run that stuff when you have the people who are buying politicians getting that info directly. You have to really follow the data and the people to not get burned on it.
Yeah, I think it's yeah,
and I think that they're giving away all this free money to corporations with no strings attached, but I think there's still further for the stock market to drop as the pandemic spreads. So I think if you save up your gold coins, you could maybe get in when the market goes even lower.
I always like look at the like different sectors, and I kind of think to myself, like, should that exist? And most of the time, it's not true that it should exist. It's like they're just health insurers or oil companies and all these things. So it's like, if you want to invest in something over 5 to 10 years or something, right? You're like, well, yeah, but in 10 years, hopefully, like climate change will have like eliminated that industry or something, or like maybe climate change, or like hopefully the United States will actually have a healthcare system by then or something. So it's hard to like actually look at the thing and say, I want to invest in that. when you're like, yeah, but it shouldn't exist. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, all of it shouldn't exist, right?
These huge corporations like, ExxonMobil would be smart enough to diversify away from fossil fuels, but you know how the sort of culture of a corporation just fossilizes, so you can't really trust them to switch to spending money on windmills and stuff like that before it's too late. Some of them, like T-Boone Pickens, happen to own a ton of land and own a lot of mineral rights for gas and stuff. But he realized that he could also make money by putting up windmills everywhere.
That's why they call them T-Bone Pickens, you know? He picked up all the pickens by building all those windmills and making all those deals.
Oklahoma State, baby. He's bringing them back to prominence.
Okay. I would like to buy some windmills just to have, like, as a power move, like 3 or 4 windmills.
Where would you keep them?
I mean, I'm in a co-op apartment in the Bronx, so that is a tough idea. Maybe I could convince them to hold them in the courtyard, just like 4 windmills side by side, moving, just in absence of wind.
Good for like grounding flour or something like that. Not even electrical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just toss some flour up from like the 4th floor. That's a really good idea.
Spin a little dynamo, then you can charge your portable boombox and just walk around the city with a microphone broadcasting your political message to people. You could be like the Black Hebrew Israelites.
That is the form the Pimp Chronicles should have taken, but Leo was forced to not move in with me due to Corona, actually. Like, we were a week away from living together, Leo and I, and he had to go home because the world ended.
John, you're in New York. Do you like watching the Black Hebrew Israelites harangue pastors black?
Oh, I actually really love it. They're all dressed like anime characters, and they all just like point to people and like say that they should be executed. Just like, look at this piece of shit, and the guy's sitting there reading his newspaper. They're so aggressive, and they're so just seemingly unaware of the city. I really admire them. And yet they project such elegance with those like really ornate outfits. And yet they're just really berating people, saying like, this is our land. Every one of you should be murdered. Well, we all sit there quietly like we're sort of bad students who deserve it, you know? It's a really fun experience for me when they get on the train and nobody ever says a word. Even like, I'm in the South Bronx where like people sort of yell at each other and like accuse you of being gay if you like wear tight pants. But like, you know, still up here when those guys get on the train, nobody says a fucking word. They all just bow their heads and like take their verbal lashings about how they should all be killed in visceral ways because they are Yakubian devils.
I think that's a good lesson for all you Maoists and Leninists out there. If you want people to be forced to listen to your messages, you get some nice uniforms.
Exactly. Yes.
You get a portable PA system, and you just scream and insult.
Exactly. Yeah. You get in people's faces and say, "I'm right. You need to die." Yeah.
Then another cell splits off from that. You get another cell. Pretty soon,
that's a whole lot of cells, baby.
Yeah, pretty soon the peasants are in control.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a lot to say about it, but I've been trying to read about Cambodia before the Khmer Rouge just to kind of figure out who these people were who decided.
You would be fucking researching Cambodia before the Khmer Rouge. I'm fucking trying to make it through the Paris Review, and you're like reviewing pre-tribal conflict. God damn it.
There's this really great line. They got a lot of support from China because they were sincerely trying to do Maoism as they saw it, and Mao gave them like 400 books about communism. He gave them all the Marx and Lenin, all the the canon, and so they read them all, and there's this great line. I don't know if it's true or not. It kind of sounds fake. but Sihanouk, who had taken power before the Khmer Rouge were around, he met Zhou Enlai in 75 with some other Khmer Rouge leaders. Yang Sari, Q Sampan, guys who were later accused of perpetrating the genocide. I mean, they're accused, they did it.
You ain't lying, baby.
Anyway.
So sorry for that one. Thank you, Tom.
Zhou Enlai was warning them about the danger of radical movements towards communism, talking about how bad the Great Leap Forward was, and Zhu urged them not to repeat the same mistakes China had, just destroying its productive capacity and ideologically messing up its economy. And Sihanouk of Cambodia later recalled that Q Samphan and Yang Tirith, who were part of the Khmer Rouge later on, responded only with a quote, "an incredulous and superior smile." So you have these peasant guys who are gaining power and they're getting lectured by the Chinese about, like, okay, these are certain things that when you read the book, you think that might be the thing to do, but you kind of have to soft play it, and they just look at them with those eyes, and you're kind of upturned Cambodian nose and just smile, like, oh, you think we're gonna slow this down? No,
this is the beginning, baby. We're not even the Khmer Rouge yet. You should hear what that is.
And it's gonna be great.
Rouge time, baby. You ain't lying.
All right, let's do one more question here. What's your favorite musical act other than Killer Flamingos? So I don't know what Killer Flamingos are. But
I also don't know that act despite knowing a lot of music. So
yeah, it's probably someone plugging their band, I guess.
yeah, definitely gotta be.
So
that's not a famous band name. That is a post 2010s. We don't know what to call band's name. That could easily be a bar in Miami Beach.
At least it doesn't have a MacBook keyboard option plus symbol in the name. Let's hope it doesn't have
or a pyramid. Yeah.
No, it's just regular old letters.
Well, why doesn't Donald start, and then we'll go around the horn?
Yeah, well, I'll go around the horn. That sounds great. Old round the horn, our old favorite game.
Yeah, my favorite band? I don't know. Elvis Presley.
You just lagged for a second. What is your favorite band? I have to know.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley's your favorite band?
Yeah. That's what I don't know. That's what I'll say. I don't know.
Like Sun Records Elvis Presley, or like fat 1970s Suspicious Minds Elvis Presley?
Yeah, Suspicious Minds. Late in the game.
Late in the game when he's all fat and tragic. Yeah. I found him the most sympathetic too. Then
Blazing Star. That's a great song.
That is a good song. Yeah.
Every man, a blazing star, a blazing star. Great song.
What's your
wonderful
favorite band
rendition?
My favorite. That's a tough question, but I'd say it's a tie between Silver Jews and Nas.
Okay.
Damn, Silver Jews and Nas is pretty good. Fuck.
If you've never listened to Purple by Nas, because it's on the Lost Tapes, it's not on one of his classic albums. It's on his Lost Tapes, like collection of old studio stuff. Listen to that. That song will make you cry, laugh, smile, any sort of emotion you've ever been able to feel.
How about you, John?
Jesus, let's see here. As far as inactive bands go, maybe I will sidestep the Silver Jews, just not to copy, and perhaps settle on... Fuck, the Silver Jews is great. I guess I'll go with Can, maybe.
Oh, the German crap.
Yeah. I love those fellas. You're losing. You're losing your vitamin C. And also Sparks. I've been getting through that a lot. Getting through the quarantine with the best Sparks albums. You know, Onks in My Pants, number one song in heaven. Real musical aids to the moment. As far as active bands go, Madlib recently signed Jerry Paper from California, who I think is doing some really great neo-soul, even though he looks like a potato, and I really support what he's doing. And the John V Variety Hour starring me is also a great band. It's on all your streaming websites.
Shout out to the John V Variety Hour.
Shout out.
Band, pay for their albums.
Pay for their albums.
Visit their live shows.
Go to our live stream shows for the next year.
And only give them good reviews.
Only good reviews, yes. Only positive press.
Yeah. I love Mickey Mouse by Sparks. I think that's one of the most perfectly crafted songs.
I spent a second wondering, like, why would Disneyland let them say Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Disneyland California in a song? And it's because it's actually like a really compelling anthem, even despite what a good song it is. Like, it makes me want to go to Disneyland and meet Mickey Mouse, even though I've been to Disneyland and watched a fat man die there. You know, like, that's how powerful a song it is. It's a really wonderful song. All right. Oh, all right, Tom. Let's hear your two bands.
Yeah, so I think I have to say the Melvins. That's always been my favorite band. I still listen to them pretty frequently. Lately, I've been kind of going back to like Mike Patton and the Melvins a lot since the quarantine thing.
Do you like those 2000s Melvin side projects by the non-King Buzzard guy? Not by King Buzzard, but by the other dude. It's got a really strange name. I'm forgetting it entirely. God damn it. It's got like rap elements. I quite like that stuff, whatever it is.
I'm not sure if I've even heard that, to be honest. I kind of stopped like paying attention to everything they were putting out after a certain point, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And I don't like the newer stuff as much. It kind of feels like not very Melvin-y to me. So
no, it seems like explicitly not Melvin-y at points, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've been around since '83, so you got to give them room to do what they want. You know, kind of change things up. But that's not really what I'm into the Melvins for. I like the other stuff.
Speaking of music, I discovered something that seems so horrible that it shouldn't exist. There's a band called the Madness, which was a super group with
the guy from the Specials, right? No.
And he was later replaced by Scott Stapp of Creed.
Oh my God!
And their album is called. Their newest album, I suppose, is called The Art of Anarchy, and the cover artist is like a drama mask with the anarchy symbol.
Oh yeah, baby.
A white dove on one side and a black crow. Just the corniest, weirdest, almost Christian post-grunge. This music that you would think nobody in the world could possibly want. But
that may be the worst genre of the 2000s, I think. All those supergroups like Audio Slave, Velvet Revolver, Chicken Foot with Michael Anthony and the drummer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, most famous for looking like Will Ferrell. That's basically all he's done.
It's
I went to a Wikipedia album I went to a Wikipedia page for one of their albums, and it just said under recording something like the band decided to record the album in 2017 when they had some free time, and that's when it stopped. With a little citation, like, wow, what a rock and roll lifestyle.
There is an exception to this kind of stuff, though, which is the desert sessions that Josh Homme used to do. I don't know if he still does it.
Oh, I don't know what these are. What is this?
So he used to have, again, I don't know if he still does it, but there's like this house that he has, or a friend of his has, or something like that, and he gets like just a bunch of his friends, musician friends, to go hole up in this house for a while. They do a bunch of shrooms and different things like that, and they just record something. And he used to put it out, like, I think just about every year.
Yeah.
And they were doing that from before Queens of the Stone Age and stuff. Like, a lot of the songs that would later become Queens of the Stone Age songs were originally Desert Sessions songs.
Oh, wow. I would love to hear those Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, it's cool because they're like a different version, you know? It's a little bit different. A lot of them are instrumental. It's nice. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, I've always wanted to hear desert rock demos because, like, Finnish desert rock always feels too much like, here's some desert rock. Here's all the tropes of desert rock.
It's cool when you're in high school listening to it on the CD player of your Monte Carlo, but it kind of loses.
I mean, it's always cool in that Monte Carlo, baby.
Yeah, when you're in a Monte Carlo, anything you're doing is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically. What do you guys think about personal luxury coupes?
Oh, I'm thinking send me one today, brother. Send me that and a gun instead of $1,200, and I will defend myself from the tanks.
Oh, man, I can't wait till you've got a Glock with an extended clip.
Oh, it's going to be sick, man.
Magazine.
I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but it's so sad to be in the Bronx because the first 2 weeks people were like out in the streets, like drinking from paper bags, hugging each other, and like I saw a guy crotch chopping at a cop car. It was like 1978, and then within 2 weeks we have gone to the 90s, and now everybody's inside. Most people outside are wearing masks. There's a lot of looking out of windows with scary eyes. It's been very harrowing.
I saw that British article about people calling the police about their neighbors exercising more than once a day because the government said you can only go out for a run once a day. Like,
I've been torturing my downstairs neighbors by doing clap push-ups like Travis Bickle. Yeah.
That's
I support that entirely. You should torture your neighbors with the sound of your self-improvement, and that will inspire them. That is my semi-fascist ideology of the day.
Here in my neighborhood, a lot of people don't seem to be doing things very differently. In Chicago, generally, I get the sense that a lot of people are staying at home and stuff. Like, the public transportation seems pretty empty from what I know. But it also seems like a lot of businesses are just sort of declaring themselves essential, like flower shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, same here. Pizza shops wearing masks, yeah.
Yeah, and when you go to the store or whatever, there's just tons of people. You do see people with masks and stuff, but there's a lot of people who are just acting like it's nothing. The other day, I was with Tabs. We were in the grocery store, and there was a guy that was getting really close to us in the checkout line, and I mean, not like close that would be weird in
outside of these really weird contexts, yeah.
Right, but like, he definitely like maybe 2 feet away from us. Or
shit, yeah.
So we were just kind of like, hey, you want to give us a little space, please, that kind of thing. And then he was like, oh, I'm from the old school, I don't really do all that. And it was like the old school, like 2 weeks ago that we were all from.
Yeah.
And he actually ended up just switching lines. He was like, I'm not superstitious like that. I'm just gonna change lines. And I was like, all right, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. I went to Walmart and it was all tape all over the floor everywhere to like in a grid basically, so that you knew how far to stand from other people and stuff. It was the whole floor.
Wow, little like paths for piglets. Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
That's how they set prisons up. When you're inducted into prison, they have tape on the floor.
Leo, you and I have had a lot of close calls in prison. We should have talked about this entire time. While saying allegedly.
We'll just say that we're outlaws, and we'll save that for our own podcast with Evan.
Yeah, we'll save all those outlaw tales for the Pimp Chronicles.
Yeah, so what's the name of your guys' podcast again? When's that coming out?
It's either the Pimp Chronicles or it is the Modern Day Player's Guide. We're cycling through a lot here. Or the Panther Owners Club. We've been feeling that out too. Yeah, that could be a good one. It should be starting soon. Evan has corona, but I have an interface I can mail him, so we can all do it remote style like you guys and bug you for help and stuff.
Yeah, the thing is that I was supposed to be living with John, with my girlfriend, as of like 3 days from now, but now I have no idea how long I'm going to be trapped in Michigan.
Yeah, that was a big swerve in our plans. That could have been great, man. We'd be causing so much ruckus. We'd have broken all the furniture by now, listening to Mickey Mouse by Sparks on repeat.
What's that ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus. Breakfast Club, John Hughes, classic.
Classic piece of cinema, my friend.
You can't beat it.
Makes me want to have some breakfast at Tiffany's. We all seen that one? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn, don't get Don started about Audrey Hepburn.
Don't get Don started. Don't get started about the modern day Audrey Hepburn known as Gal Gadot. By the way, you've talked about this, but how do you feel about that Imagine video, Don? What is your initial reaction?
What was my reaction? I thought it was nice that she tried to cheer some people up, but I guess, strong woman, so they tear her down,
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
tries to make a move.
Yeah. And people are well, maybe she should have picked a, more obscure song or something. It's like, it's Gal Gadot, come on. It's...
Yeah. What songs does Gal Gadot know?
Yeah. What songs do her publicist allow her to listen to?
So...
All right, guys. Well, I think we can wrap it up here. It's been great having you on.
This has been a joy, my fellows. We should do it again. We should have more people. We should have tabs on, too. Should get Evan in the mix. Should just have 1,000 voices all at once, man. Wall of sound. Wall of sound. Let's turn up the reverb. Wall of sound. Wall of sound.
A shower of voices. And I think if there's any time to listen to terrible post-hardcore metalcore, it is in the time of the global pandemic.
Do not, no, I disagree with my good friend Leo. Do not listen to machine gun drum metalcore right now. It'll make you do crimes and kill your neighbors. Do not listen to that. Put on some, lighthearted folk music. I don't know. Put on some Gary Higgins.
I've been listening to a lot of great soul music.
Yeah, soul music will soothe you. Yeah. Get like a transistor radio going and just put on those Phil Spector classics and pretend he didn't shoot his wife or whatever.
All right, everybody buy a transistor radio. I'll throw it to Tom so he can take us out of here.
All right, guys. Yeah, so look out for their podcast. It's going to maybe be called the Pimp Chronicles. They'll be coming out soon. And thanks for listening. If you want to subscribe to the Patreon, you will get a second episode of You Can't Win every week. And we'll catch you next time.
By the way, brother, when I get that money, I'm subscribing to the Patreon. You'll see John Veronis on there. You're going to see
it. Spring that coronavirus money.
That's going straight to Tom and Don. Hell yeah. Send your Corona money to Tom and Don. Send it right to them. Remember, Don isn't getting any because his life is good, so you need to subscribe.
Life's too sweet. All right, thank you all.
Thank you so much, fellows. And I'm sorry if any of this clipped. Shall we peace out?
All right, let's do it. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I must be dreaming you're too good to be true. Who could imagine there'd be someone like you? So near perfection, it's hard to believe. All I've ever wanted, all I ever need. Somewhere in heaven where the heart's ever free. I know the angels keep I watch over me. For they have sent me an angel like you. Are you an illusion? Am I just a fool? Show me what to do. Love me, oh darling, through the night. Love me, oh darling, till the morning light. Love me, whoa, love me. Promise you'll be mine forevermore. Love me, whoa, love me. Hold me close, never, never let me go. And please don't wake me if you're only a dream. I couldn't take it being lonely again. Stay here beside me as long as you can. Take me in your arms. and love me. Your eyes amaze me with the sweet things they say. And when you touch me, oh, it takes my breath away. Your love can save me from all that I am. With your love to guide me, I'm a better man. Show me once again. Love me, oh darling, through me through the night. Love me, oh darling, till the morning light. Love me, oh love me. Promise you'll be mine forevermore. Love me, oh love me. Hold me close, never, never let me go. And please don't wake me if you're only a dream. I couldn't take it being lonely again. Stay here beside me as long as you can. Take me in your arms and love me.